Hello, 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 world. This is Louise Hicks, your host of Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour. And we're going to talk today about Candace Owens, who has become the queen of whodunit when it comes to Charlie Kirk's murder. She's now become an Angela Lansbury, the lady you guys remember who played Murder, She Wrote. I used to watch that series too. But anyhow, we're going to talk about Candace Owens. And there's a body language podcaster who gave some information about what his thoughts are. And he's supposed to be a body language person. So we're going to let him talk today, and then I'm going to give you my perspective. I'll interject from time to time. And again, Louise Hicks here. Please share, subscribe, like the video, leave your comments, and give us your thoughts about Candace Owens, whether you think her theory is correct or if not, give us your thoughts. Comments, please, please, please share, give it a like. And I appreciate all of my subscribers, and please share, 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 like, comment, 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 and thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Here we go. Let's share what this language person here, I'll give you his name, Jesus, I believe. And let's talk. Let's let Jesus do a little talking here, and then I'm going to interject from time to time to give my little input on what my thoughts are about what Candace. She's been in the news a lot lately. Well, she's always been in the news, but she was always blasting down on Black people, really. But now she's too occupied with Charlie Kirk's assassination to really get into anything else. Pretty much that. She left the French woman alone for a while. And she's also been given a gag order. Did you guys know that? But she said she's ignoring that. I believe it was on, well, formerly Twitter, now X, where she was given a gag order to stop speaking. And she says she's not going to stop. So let's go ahead and share this and listen to what the Jesus Enrique Rojas has to say, his show, about what Candace is talking about here. So here we go, because she has what she's appearing to say is maybe a shocker to some of.
So you have been absolutely blasting and flooding my emails requesting for me to analyze this video of Candace Owens. This is from her, I think it's from her book club, in which she was talking about, well, her current thoughts about who actually killed Charlie Kirk. And she was mentioning Trump, and all the internet everywhere was basically going insane. So I want to take a look at this. I'm going to take a look more like her body language, statement analysis of what she really said in this video, so we can like get this thing sorted out. And I'm going to make a comment at the end. Let's watch the clip from the beginning.
I just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways.
Okay, this is important. The first part is that she says that we just know he was it was truly betrayed. Truly betrayed or betrayed. The truly is not necessary in there. We know he was betrayed. By whom? We still don't know, but we do know that she was asking questions, because this is important. This is important if you have been following Candace Owens videos about Charlie Kirk. She usually, or most likely, never really directly points fingers at people or things or countries or agencies or anything. She draws your attention in that direction. Okay, it's without making the accusation per se. That is something that you need to realize about the way that Candace Owens makes her her show.
We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump.
Well, to be fair, I myself have never had faith in politics. I know how the game is played. I know how it is about. I know that is a necessary evil to us as a society to live with that. There is no other way. I don't think that we're going to come up with a better way. And I don't think that Candace Owens has actually had a faith in politics as, the concept ever, if she is at least moderately intelligent, and I'm absolutely sure that she is intelligent, for reasons that I'm maybe I will elaborate. But she also says that she has lost faith in Trump, and
it has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump.
That is perfectly fine. You can lose faith in your favorite candidate or the person that you voted for. Maybe they do something that you don't agree with, but
now, listen to this. She's lost faith in Trump because of the death of Charlie Kirk. And it appears she is blaming Trump and his administration because she did say they. So who are they? And this woman used to love Trump. I mean, somebody was feeding her something. She's very young. She's a millennial. I think she's about 36, same age as my daughter. But anyhow, she's lost faith in Trump. And it appears that she's saying that he had something to do with the death of Charlie Kirk. So let's continue and carry on and listen to what Candace Owens has to say.
My question here would be, what does Charlie Kirk being killed, and according to her, like no doubt, according to Candace Owens, he was betrayed. What does it have to do with losing faith on Trump? What is the connection with Trump here? I don't know, and I have a question about that.
And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics, and they just were like, nope. That is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday, bro.
So you notice that there's this vagueness. This is something that Candace does, and she does it very well. She can be very vague about the stuff. She says that I have lost faith in Trump. Charlie was very loyal to Trump. And then she speaks in terms of they, all right, as in completely dilutes who she's talking about. Now it's not Trump, but they. I guess they is the feds, as she's gonna say in a couple of minutes, in a couple of seconds, in fact. And yeah, that's like the vague connection that she is making, which is really not a connection. And I can understand why so many people are saying that she's claiming this because, well, that's one of the ways that Candace Owens knows how to stir the pot without getting in too much trouble. All right, that's why I tell you that she's got that ability. That she's intelligent in that way. I have to give it to her. She does it in a very good way. She treats. I don't know how to say that she walks that fine line like masterfully, in with saying something without saying it at the same time, and making this absolute insane ruckus online.
If they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them?
So again, she says that if they give you a holiday, then it's because they killed you. And this is also, I could say, misleading. It's not misleading. It's like a question that she's posing to be answered, I don't know by whom, because Charlie Kirk was not given a holiday. In fact, he was given kind of a day of remembrance. Was October 14th, I guess. It was only this year. It does not mean it's going to be the next year as well. It was only this year that Trump said, okay, we're going to remember Charlie today. And that was it. That's also important. Okay. that Candace says, what's with that they give you a holiday up there, they killed you, and then talks about Martin Luther King.
Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard.
Well, they in Israel, it was not an actual boulevard, something called a traffic circle, which I don't know if that's a roundabout. I'm pretty ignorant about how is traffic dealt with in Israel. But yeah, they named a traffic circle in Israel after Charlie Kirk. And also in Florida, they already renamed a street in the name of Charlie Kirk, but nothing like federal, nothing on the federal level.
Freaking bullet. It's like,
and he's right, because the federal holiday, there was a day of remembrance, and I think, like he said, it was October 14th, 2020, because a federal holiday has to go through Congress. Therefore, that was a day of remembrance for those who wanted to remember Charlie Kirk's death, because a national holiday would have to go through Congress. That has to be a law put in place. So I don't know what she's talking about, the holiday, because she's really off base there when she's saying that. And Charlie Kirk was a podcaster. I'm not, it's, why does he have a national holiday? That's what I would want to know. The way he spoke about people, particularly us. It was like he was obsessed with Black people, always negative, like he would be afraid to get on a plane if he saw a Black pilot. And also, he was talking about a call center, how the person spoke in a call center, a Black person. And he seems to be his Turning Point USA organization. That organization and Candace seemed to have been on board with all of it, because that's what she did as well, along with some other Blacks that you could name, and I've named them in some of the others, but I don't want to make this too long, so let's move forward with it. But there was no national holiday for Charlie Kirk. It was a remembrance day for those who care to remember him. But as far as I'm concerned, I wasn't interested in all of the hoopla about Charlie Kirk. It was sad because nobody deserved to get murdered that way, and murdered in any sense, let alone that way. So it's an unfortunate situation that happened with him, but he did spew a lot of negativity about Black people, our people. And that to me was nobody that I would think very highly of. Let's put it that way. So let's move forward.
As soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you.
Again, as I'm telling you, that Candace is very good at doing this. As soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. But Charlie Kirk has not been given a boulevard, much less a holiday. This is the misleading part. It's misleading in many ways. It's like, as I'm telling you, it's saying a thing, but without saying it. And you get all this crazy stuff going online.
Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature.
It's the Fed signature. If they give you a boulevard and a holiday, then the Fed, the current government, it is implied. It shouldn't be implied, because it's like that when people say that, how come Trump talks about the FBI in January 6th he was still the president, and we know that it was the FBI. It was talking about Chris Wray, and we know well who Chris Wray was, in which side was Chris Wray. So it is not that simple. It's not like, that there's separation of powers for a reason. So maybe you can say, okay, the feds, there's this rogue, rogue section or faction of the FBI or the CIA or something that they killed you, and now I don't know, they also have the power to give you a boulevard and a holiday. That's the part that I'm getting a bit lost in, how the United States works. But maybe you can help me a bit about that in the comments.
They sign off after they murder you. So like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never.
Well, the United States works in corruption. It has since its inception. And I've been here 74 years, and I can share a lot, whole lot, how the United States operates. So for this man to be given all of these accolades for all of the hate speeches and things that he spewed about Black people, and he's given a day of remembrance from the president, in which I'm not surprised because you mentioned January 6th. Look what he did with the January 6th people. Those people were out of control. There was a riot. A person died, and they were hunting down Mike Pence to kill him, and Nancy Pelosi was running. I mean, how can you, well, based on President Trump's behavior, you can definitely, certainly see why he would pardon these people, because he didn't want to see them in jail. He never went to prison for anything he's done, and he was found with 34 felons. But the man is president of the United States. What does that say to you? So it tells you a lot about this country, America, which is mentally ill. I did a video on that. The country is mentally ill. We have all kinds of headlines going around now, and it's insane. America needs healing, needs therapy from the top down. And Trump apparently feels he's sane. But some of the stuff he's doing, I agree with some of the things he's doing. I don't disagree with everything he's doing. And he's like any other politician, really, because they're one snake with two heads, one red, one blue, Democrats and Republicans. I got out of the party of Democrats, which is where most Black people take a stand on, and they're they become Democrats based on tradition. I got out of the party when I was in my 30s because the handwriting was on the wall. It's about critical thinking skills. You can see neither party that gets in power has served us as Black people. So that's why we got to serve ourselves. And we have to stop getting on the bandwagon of every bandwagon we see, of every train we see running on the track. A lot of us would jump on it. We have to start using our critical thinking skills, our sound mind, and our brain and discernment, so we can decipher what's good for us and what's not good for us. And neither party has been good for us, really, neither one. So that's why I got out of the Democratic Party in my 30s, and I'm 74, so that you can do the math and see how many years that's been. But let's carry on with this Candace Owens, who has seemed to be alluding to the fact that Trump had something to do with the murder of Charlie Kirk. So let's carry on.
A nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died.
Okay, so that was pretty much the thing. So you notice how was the reasoning? She begins to say that, well, she has lost faith in politics, but politics is going to be always going to be a swamp, no matter what. I don't know if you have seen, for example, the banner of my Power Pundit channel. I'm going to post this one on my Bottle Language Guy channel, but I have a channel dedicated to American politics. Make sure to follow me on Power Pundit. Gonna leave you with a link in the description of this video. But the banner is kind of the sense of dread about all these iconic buildings of politics. That's how I see politics. And she also says that she has lost faith in Trump. I say that, well, that's fair, of course. You can lose faith in Trump, but you're talking about Charlie Kirk being killed and betrayed. Again, I don't know what is the connection that you want to make directly with Trump, because you have kind of this feds in the middle, but at the same time, the feds killed you. They give you a boulevard and a holiday, but at the same time, Charlie Kirk has not been given a holiday. I'm a bit confused. But again, this I have seen some videos from Candace, and again, so many of you watch my channel, watch her channel as well. So many of you in the comments, and I'm really thankful for that, say that the only two channels that you watch are Candace Owens and mine. I'm really grateful for that. But I needed to address this. Kind of, I'm not like trying to defend Candace Owens. I recognize that she knows how to, she knows how to, you know, keep you on the edge of your seat. Now, having said that, I'm going to pose a question myself. I'm going to pose a what if myself. I'm going to do a, let's say, ask an uncomfortable question about the Charlie Kirk assassination. And I want to share it with you who have.
Okay,
Kind
I'm
of,
going to stop the
I'm not like,
video right here because if you want to see the rest of it, you can go to the Enriquez Rojas show on the podcast that he has about Candace Owens and what she has to say, because he's saying that she keeps you on your seat. Well, she does keep some people on her seat, and we know who most of her followers are. Most of her followers are white Americans. And because most Black people do not follow Candace Owens. And it's not that she does not say some things that have substance, because she does sometimes. But in a way, what he's saying, let me stop sharing too. In a way, what Jesus is saying is that she has a way of, and she's not ignorant by no means, and it can articulate herself. She doesn't always have facts behind what she says, but I know she has a history of insulting Black people. And there is she doesn't keep me on the edge of my seat, probably because I'm older. I have a daughter her age, so I've been around a lot longer than Candace Owens, and I can tell from what she says that people are telling her what to say, and it's all about money for Candace. She even said that. I did a podcast on her. You can go on my on this channel, and you can see where I did this podcast when she was fired from the Daily Wire, and she went on the Breakfast Club. In fact, she was making her rounds back then. And on the Breakfast Club, she said in the end of that show that the only thing she was concerned about was her family. She's not concerned about anybody else. She said it. Those were her own words. And I did the podcast. I got over 2,000 views on that podcast. Go back and check it out on this channel, my YouTube channel, Aim to Purpose Spiritual Empowerment Hour, because Candace Owens is not for her own people, Black people. She's not. She may put on a good game show. That's what I would say about her, and some of the others out here do. And it's all about the money with so many podcasters, her included. She has probably over 5 million followers now, subscribers, and they're predominantly white. And I'm not surprised, because in this, if you're white and you're listening to my podcast or watching it, if you're not one of those that love to hear all of the negativity about Black people, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who feel that they are superior to Black people and think that they're so smart in this. I mean, I've worked with a lot of white people along the my career journey, and it hasn't been a pretty picture all the time. I've had to sue in Texas, have to sue in California. So don't think this stuff just happens in one region of the country, because it's all over. If you have an unrighteous heart, it doesn't matter who you are. If that's who you are, that's who you are. And we have to stop listening to a lot of this foolishness out here, as my grandmother would call it, food talk, because a lot of us get hung up on it rather than getting hung up on your family and your community, uplifting. We get hung up on a lot of this food talk that does us no good. It doesn't put any money in our pocket. In fact, it's putting money in a lot of these podcasters, particularly some of these Gen Xers, millennials, and Zs out here. A lot of them are talking food talk, and they are setting a poor example for our younger ones, the ones that are coming up, the alphas, and the ones that are coming after the alphas. They're spewing nonsense and food talk. And we need to stop listening to these people. They're making money off of misleading you, giving misinformation. Some of them will say anything to make a buck and to get the likes and so forth and get subscribers. And a lot of us are listening to it because we're perishing for a lack of knowledge. And I always say this on my podcast when I do them. I quote 2 Timothy 1:7 that says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." And a lot of us are fearful, particularly some of us baby boomers out here. We have the wisdom. A lot of us have knowledge. We have wisdom. We've been there and we've done that. We have experience. A lot of these podcasters out here, they have no clue what they're talking about. They're just saying anything. They don't do any due diligence because they know some people are going to jump on any bandwagon or any train that's running. It said choo choo, they're ready to jump on it and go choo 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 choo. So let's think about it and use this critical thinking skills, and let's impart knowledge of our people and what our people have contributed to this country. And a lot of the contributions have been stolen from us. And we have to start recognizing our contributions, start teaching our children our history. That's why we need our own educational institutions. We need those because our children need to be educated by us because they're not going to get it in the schools. And I know for a fact, I went to a segregated school and I learned so much more than my peers when I went to college because I went to college in California, have a bachelor's degree in social work. And I can read people, I'm telling you. And I have gone through so much over the years. I got a lot from my mother. My mother gave me the right name, which is Louise, which means famous warrior in German, I believe, one of those languages. I may be wrong on the one I'm quoting, but if so, you can look it up and see what Louise means. And my mother, I don't think she had the foresight when I was born, March 4th, 1951, to really knew the magnitude of my power and what I would bring to the universe that God has given us. And that I'm about harmony. I'm about love. And I'm just amazed at how some people jump on any bandwagon that comes along. Don't do any due diligence. Don't read. You can put $1 million in a book. And some of I'm talking about my people now too. Some of us will just pass that book up. We won't read. There's a book by Napoleon Hill called Unwitting, I think it's called Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil. And it's not per se about this devil you think about with the horns and fire and grim and all this stuff. It's about how we are unconscious about so many things. Like I think who did he write the book Think and Grow Rich? I mean, I do a lot of reading. I haven't done a lot lately because I've been busy doing other things, building legacy, generational wealth for my children and so forth. And that's what we should be doing. I mean, we get so distracted about what's going on out here in the world instead of paying attention to what's going on in our own household with our families. Black people, we got to wake up. And check out this book by Napoleon Hill that was written back in, I think it was the 30s. At the time they wrote the book, Outwitting the Devil, it couldn't even be published because he was giving so much insight on how we can live to have a better life for ourselves, for not just us as Black people, but for the world. And that's what we need to be doing. Let's read more so we can bring more to the table as a family. We need to try and bring our families back together, even though a lot of Black families are together, in spite of what society wants you to believe about Black families. There are a lot of intact Black families. Of course, there are a lot of single mothers who are heading households, but a lot of it has to do with the system, the welfare system. And I'll give you a little bit about that, and then I'm going to close out this video. The welfare system makes everybody think, oh, all these Black people on welfare. That's a lie. There's more white people on welfare than Black people are. I mean, you look at the population ratio, and that should tell the story. It's about common sense, too. And the welfare system was designed for more for white people than it was for Black people because they'd like to keep us at the bottom, but they didn't want poor white people. And look at the GI Bill. who that was designed for. Black people fought the war and was on the front line. However, it was very difficult for Black people to get along when they were handing the GI Bills out to white families so that they could move into homes. I mean, we got to study I know I'm speaking from experience because I've sold real estate in the past as well. I've done a lot of things, and I've worked in corporate America, private industry, government industry, and you name it. Did real estate, have had a license, and was going to get a license in the state of Texas, but I changed my mind. I sold in California, where I basically grew up, even though I was born in Louisiana. So we have to really start using our critical thinking skills and be mindful of what we're listening to and what we're reading and do our own due diligence. Because I'm telling you, we listen to a lot of noise out here that does us no good and has no benefit to us. So let's think about what we're doing, what we're saying, who we're listening to, and let's think about our families. Make our family number one, and that will spread out into the community collectively so that we can connect the dots as one and look out for one another. Because I grew up in a neighborhood like that, Cooper Road, USA. When I was a kid growing up in the 50s, we could leave our house and leave our doors wide open and we would protect one another. We've gotten so far away from our roots, and we need to get back to that. Let's show more compassion for one another and show more love for one another. Like that scripture says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power. This is how we empower ourselves: power, love, and a sound mind. And a lot of us are not using that sound mind. So let's be more conscientious because I started this podcast to support and help our people to a higher level of consciousness. And that's what we need to focus on. So with Candace Owens, what she's saying, it appears now that she's alluding to Trump having something to do with the murder or assassination of Charlie Kirk and his administration. That's what it appears. Now we know she's gone out and she speaks out. I admire that about her, though. She's not afraid to speak up and speak out. But a lot of the stuff she said in the past has turned Black people away from her and her audience, like I said, predominantly white people that love to hear our people and other people degrade Black people. There are some white people out there that love it, not just white people. There are others too that love it because it comes from our own people too. And they love hearing us spew negativity about one another. So with that said, uh, again, I'm Louise Hicks. Leave your comments, give it a like, share, subscribe, share, like. Thumbs up. Leave your comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about uh, Miss Candace Owens, who is becoming an Angela Lansbury. Who done it? It's because she's on to something. I don't know what it is yet, but I guess we all will find out soon whether she's on the right track or the wrong track. We will find out because hopefully it'll come to light one day what really happened. If we're kept in the dark, hopefully they say everything that goes on in the dark eventually comes to light. So we will see because they mentioned that insurrection on January 6th, and look what Trump did. He turned around and pardoned all those people. He wanted them to be like him, I guess, because he never went to jail and he didn't want them to stay in jail for all of his criminal 34 counts of criminal activities. So we have a president of the United States that's a criminal. How about that? Anyhow, thanks for watching. Much love to all of my subscribers. Please, again, share. Like, comment, thumbs up, and always remember, your power lies within you. Let it loose because your destiny is your command. And thank you, Jesus, for speaking about the language here, body language, or the language per se. Have a great one, everybody, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.